Welcome to our webinar, Are You Miserable in Menopause? This is to chat about the journey through peri, which is the years prior to, in the midst of, which is the time period where you're having that 1 year of no periods, and then post-menopause, and letting you know that these years can really be the best years of your life, but it's not going to happen without taking action. So let's chat about this. So, the issue, I ask is, what you're told and or what your experience is really matters. Is this going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy? You've heard all these things, you're experiencing all these things. Are you just going to succumb to them, or can you actually counter these effects? And that's where I want to empower you with some knowledge that can potentially shift the course of your life and make this perhaps the best years of your life. So if you look to Dr. Google, you'll find many lists of signs and symptoms of menopause. So I want to stick with the short list for the moment because I want to really address these things, which I really think are some are based on truly menopause and others just the aging process. So regardless of who you are, in that 40 plus into the 50s, 60s, is really this individual who sits in this peri in the midst of or post menopause. And this is really the opportunity where you can make some shifts to potentially help yourself. And again, give you the opportunity to lead a long, healthy, independent, and joyful life. So, which of these things are truly caused by menopause? Well, in the menopausal part of our life, we've had all of the estrogen that our body produces from our ovaries as we are procreating, as some of us choose to do. And as we age, we no longer need to procreate. So our body begins to turn off. And so we have estrogen receptors in every single cell in our body. And it's no wonder that potentially every single cell in our body is reflected in the changes through menopause as we lose the estrogen that actually will turn on these cells and help them to have their metabolic processes occur. So when we look at things like hot flashes and night sweats, it's absolutely part of the menopausal process. I will also include in there vaginal dryness. As we lose estrogen in a short or long period of time, I mean, we have some women who very quickly and easily go through menopause. They have that first year of no periods, and that shoves them into the postmenopausal period, and they might have experienced some of these side effects. And some people honestly get away with none. There are few people in life, that get away with life with a few obstacles. And unfortunately, like the bell curve, there are people on either end of it that most people, skate through life, or should I say, go through life with bumps and bruises, but we can survive it. We've got a small segment who really skate through with no issues, and then there's a small segment of us who really get the short end of the straw on a regular basis. But when we look at menopause and the loss of estrogen, we will and likely will experience hot flashes and night sweats and vaginal dryness, and these are logical to the fact that we are losing this estrogen. Now, this is a period in time when you can choose to tough it out, or you can set yourself up with a practitioner, somebody like Mama G, who looks at the whole person and allows you to be able to really assess if you need to tough it out, or depending on the circumstances, if you need to get some help. So when we look at this particular issues, or these three issues per se, this is when, and we can also add in here pain during intercourse or pain at all in the urogynecological areas, which is really the vagina, the cervix, the uterus, the bladder, those type of areas. What's important to think about during this period of time is that there is help from pharmaceuticals. We call it hormone replacement therapy. And whether you are using um, hormones that come from your street, what is it called, dime store pharmacies, the CVS's, the Rite Aids, etc., or whether you are getting your hormone replacement through a compounding pharmacy that can play with the different mixes of hormones differently than the big box pharmacies. And people have this concept of bioidentical hormones being better or any different than hormones that are shoved into a pill or a patch or a cream. The fact is, they are all the same. They are all synthetic, that we have to make them all in a laboratory. And we, again, produce them for you in patches and pills and tablets and creams as well. But they are all FDA regulated to potentially help with the alleviation or reduction of hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, and pain in the urogynecological areas. Now, I was one of those people who at one point in time decided that, I've toughed out so many things. I've had babies with no epidurals, like I'm tough. I can just tough this out. And there was a point in time when I decided to reach out to a menopause specialist who was a gynecologist. And you can simply go to menopause.org to find one of these specialists in your area that takes your insurance, to look to their expertise to help you really assess whether or not you need to consider hormone replacement therapy. I will tell you that there is a window of opportunity that once you are in the midst of menopause, where you're having these symptoms, and within a certain time frame, a certain number of years, as a postmenopausal woman, meaning that you have not had periods for at least 1 year straight. By the way, any postmenopausal bleeding must, let me reiterate, must be dealt with your gynecologist, preferably somebody that can really assess the situation, because any postmenopausal bleeding, no matter how small, is potentially a precursor to cancer. And so with the use of ultrasounds and examinations and perhaps some different or extensive testings, we can put those concerns to rest. But the fact is, if there is cancer concerns, we need to open our ears and open our eyes and pull our heads out of the sand and deal with them, because an early diagnosis of cancer, regardless of where it is potentially curable as opposed to a death sentence. So knowledge is power here. But again, looking for that menopause specialist who specializes in menopause, and understanding that the use of hormone replacement therapy can really shift the course of your life and allow you to transition through this very complex period of time, especially with the shift in estrogen. Some people will have an immediate response. Some people will get worse and worse over the period of time. And as I mentioned earlier, some people will have little to no effects from this. But if you are experiencing these things, I used to say to myself, try to talk myself into the fact that, like, oh, I heard that if you're hot and sweaty, that you burn more calories. I try to make it fun and make it a joke and make it, okay. But the fact is that for those of us who have suffered with it, I mean, you could literally be in the course of seconds dripping wet and having to deal with the repercussions of that throughout your day and night. So hormone replacement therapy can be a game changer through this period. It is not forever, but it is to help transition with the loss of estrogen through this period of time, which could be years on end. Now, I will tell you that I am not a huge fan of practitioners who use pellets, which is a way to inject hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, in a way that you cannot adjust a dosage, nor necessarily without a surgical procedure remove the pellets once they are inside of you. So I am a big advocate for clients to potentially look to a different practitioner, to have education and communication about these things with their practitioners, and to be an advocate for their own health, and to choose things like patches and pills and creams where the dosages of these hormones can be adjusted and customized to your situation. I will mention again that I am not a fan of bullying in any form, and I do not believe, based on the education I have had from my menopausal specialist, that we need to be using only bioidentical hormones, that your hormone replacement can be easily coming from a synthetic hormone, which, by the way, I will say again, is a bioidentical hormone. The difference is that within the compounding pharmacies, they can kind of shift around the amounts of things. But in all honesty, for most women, the dosages are pretty consistent, and they work really well. And again, within the patches and the pills and the creams can allow your practitioner with communication to help you adjust it. And I will tell you that since I did go on hormone replacement therapy after quite a bit of time of fighting it, I cannot tell you that I am one happy camper to not be dealing with for me, the hot flashes and the night sweats. I also want you to consider this. So many of us as our age, and some of us are more vain than others, that I think it's really important to think about what you're willing to do to help halt the aging process. Are you that individual that is using Botox or paralytics to, stop the expressions on your face from getting worse and worse, so that you have these indelible lines that continue, and gravity doesn't help with the pulling on those lines in your face? Are you somebody that is using fillers and other things to help plump up these areas? Are you spending an exorbitant amount of money on lotions and creams and products, and a routine that you spend lots of time on to help reduce the aging process on your face, let us say? But we tend to forget the fact that these urogynecological areas too could use some help in the aging process. We can help to rejuvenate them. And this is where that hormone replacement therapy can help us transition through those areas, especially when we're looking to vaginal dryness and pain, especially during intercourse, which is really unacceptable, because this really should be the best time in your life if you are a sexually active woman. Hopefully you're in a relationship that is bringing you happiness. And secondly, it's a time in your life when you no longer have to worry about pregnancy. So it really frees you up to enjoy this. And for most of us, our little children have launched, although COVID has brought into complications with more people being in the house than we necessarily want, but it gives you more freedom to really enjoy sex and lovemaking in a completely different way that perhaps you've ever experienced in your life. So again, these are all concerns, and then this is an area that you really need to be dealing with. So between the hormone replacement with the patches and the potential pills, creams can be very useful, not only in the clitoris and the vagina, but also when we talk to the now I'm going to forget the word, but the urogynecological areas where we urinate. Jiminy Crickets, you think of somebody who's had bladder cancer and kidney stones, and I would have the word right in front of my face. But again, depending on your practitioner, they may recommend you use a little bit of cream in those areas to help with the rejuvenation and holding on to the youth that we would like to hold on to help prevent any of these issues as well. So it is my advice that, again, we look to a practitioner that can really help us in these areas that are truly due to the loss of estrogen. And we can blame on menopause all day long. But when we talk about things like bone loss, we're going to look to the aging process in general, and not necessarily anything to do with menopause. We look to insomnia, which is really a lifestyle situation. Depending on any age, this can happen to you. And certainly the circumstances of the last year with COVID and politics and so much more, insomnia and stresses in our life, and working at home and children at home and homeschooling and all of these things, it's certainly a life issue, as well as our mood swings. Again, the mood swings, we can certainly, want to blame menopause, but there are a multitude of reasons that can cause these mood swings, as well as depression and weight gain. According to Dr. Google, when I looked it up, I found a big fat list of menopausal symptoms. I'm going to take a drink. I know you can't see me, but yesterday I took a drink and tried to keep talking, and it wasn't a good scenario. So let me take a little wet my palate. So I wanted to, look at this more extensive list of symptoms, when we're talking about things like hair loss. This is an area that I want to tell you that you don't get to blame on menopause. You get to blame this, although I will say to you that there are estrogen receptors in every cell of your body. So I'm going to communicate to you that it is really important to understand that hair loss and poor hair quality, just like within your brittle nails and things, as you can see on the list as well, can certainly be a product of the estrogen receptors getting no estrogen to help with the healthy hair and skin and nails and such, but we can also look to malnutrition. And malnutrition does not mean somebody who is necessarily under eating calories. It is meant to say that we're talking about people who are not getting adequate nutrients in terms of our proteins and fats and our carbohydrates and micronutrients and so much more. So we are not going to put this blame on menopause. We are going to put this blame on ineffective and nutrition. The weight gain kind of falls into the same category. And with the hair loss and the brittle nails, we can blame poor quality nutrition. We can also blame overeating calories for a multitude of reasons. And this can come from a lifetime of experiences that cause us to use food as comfort. But it can also come from the aging process. Again, nothing to do necessarily with the loss of estrogen, but simply our lifestyles slowing down. How many people as we age come up with injuries that, do not allow, that we do not rehab or understand that we can actually rehab, that it keeps us moving. The less movement, the less calorie burn, the more loss of muscle and bone, the lower the metabolism, and hence no changes in our eating habits, and we will gain weight if we are overeating calories, and you will not lose weight if your body thinks that it is in famine mode, meaning that you are starving yourself on punitive and restrictive diet approaches. It is really a very complex situation here, and the human body is very resilient and can do whatever it needs to survive, and that means takes nutrients from other places in our body to actually survive. We did talk about that vaginal dryness as part of the menopausal situation and aging. We will take that there for sure. But the sleep disorders, I will tell you, given our lives, right? And every single human being across the world with the COVID-19 pandemic, 100% has been dealing with the stress and complexity of COVID-19 in their lives. And certainly when we have stress in our lives, certainly when we do not establish healthy sleep hygiene situations, we are going to have disordered sleep. And this is another area as well that we need to actually take responsibility and realize that there are ways to help us sleep. There are plenty of tools available to us online to help us establish healthy hygiene, such as putting away our devices after a certain time at night to be able to read or listen to music or do some meditation to help us. But your food is absolutely paramount in helping you get proper nutrition, and your activity as well to help you be able to sleep better. There are plenty of opportunities for sleep help out there with different centers across the world who offer sleep clinics for those who really are having a difficult time. But taking a look at your life and your stress and your situations really have to be paramount, which means you actually have to take action and own these things. Dizziness is one of those things that I will put back on the food immediately, that there is nothing in there, no reason whatsoever that your loss of estrogen would cause this, but I see it all the time in people who are malnourished, not getting enough calories, eating too much sugar, having disease processes. So if you're somebody who has dizziness, you absolutely should be seeing your practitioner to discuss this, to make sure there is nothing else causing this other than your craziness within your life. Dizziness could be a middle ear infection. It could be something much more great. And it is something that must be delved into and not ignored. When we look at incontinence, really this is a figment of the aging process. Yes, again, we have estrogen cells, as I mentioned, in this entire urogynecologic area. But the fact is, as we age, and the old use it or lose it will continue to come into play. So if you are not training those muscles, you can potentially lose it, especially if you have a genetic predisposition for this. So guess what? There is help for you here as well. Number one, you must speak to your gynecologist, your urologist who actually cares and perhaps has a specialty in this area. There is something called pelvic floor therapy that many people, male and women, find great help when they employ this kind of therapy and practice the exercises and behaviors that they are taught. This is also a time in your life where you may need little help from a little medication. I will say, as I say with hormone replacement therapy, every pill is a poison, but every pill is potentially something that could save your life. So it's important that the pills you take are necessary, that you understand everything about them in terms of how long you should be taking them, how much you should be taking them, and if there's anything you can do in your power in terms of lifestyle choices that will allow you to no longer take that medication for the long haul. Again, allergies fall into the same situation. You do not get to blame menopause. You must look at your genetics. You must look at your predisposition for these allergies. It is important to see a board certified allergist to assess the situation. I'm going to caution you that naturopaths and integrative doctors are really good at taking your money. They are really good at doing tests that have no efficacy behind them. And they are really good at bullying you into believing that you have a bunch of different allergies that you really don't have, and that completely shift the course of your life and the type of foods that you choose to eat. All right. So knowledge is power, making sure you get really good information. And there are some people who suffer from intense allergies, some people year round or sometimes seasonally, and there may be the use for certain, again, habits that you can employ to help you deal with these allergies. Plus, there are definitely pharmaceuticals and over-the-counter medications that could potentially help you when these things are surging. And again, they can simply fluctuate in your lifetime, but menopause is not going to be your cause for this. Breast pain, as we females know, we have had breast pain throughout our lives, at the start of periods, at the start of puberty, with pregnancies, with breastfeeding, so many aspects of it. And really, this is where I want you to look to when you are postmenopausal, that you will no longer have breast pain. It is awesome. So instead of, constantly complaining and bitching and moaning about these things, take advantage of the postmenopausal phase of your life and having no more breast pain. Doesn't mean you get to ignore your breast. Doesn't mean you don't get to continue to have breast self-examination. It doesn't mean that you don't see your gynecologist or breast specialist once a year to have the mammograms and ultrasounds and perhaps other tests that are necessary depending on your breasts and your situation, because we must be looking at preventative screening as the aging process continues. Some of us get more dense breasts over the years, and it's really imperative that we are aware of any changes in our breasts, and due to our own self-care and the help of our practitioners, we can make sure that if we have an issue, that we are catching it early. Headaches, joint pain, itchy skin. Again, you can try to blame menopause, but you don't get to. We can easily, again, put these onto other things. Headaches throughout our lives are just certainly something that we can have, some of us more than others. I will tell you that I have a lot of clients who come to me with headaches, and once they get rid of the crappy, highly processed, ultra processed foods out of their life, get some kind of eating plan where they're not dealing with fluctuations in blood sugar, etc., these headaches seem to disappear. We also have the use of over-the-counter medications that can help us on the occasion we get headaches. But if you are having headaches that have changed dramatically at any point in time, even during that menopausal period, you need to see your physician to make sure that there is not something menacing that is problematic and that could potentially be your demise. The same thing with joint pain. As we age, depending on our circumstances, depending on how we abuse our bodies with the lack of or too much exercises or the type of exercises we're doing, you might have joint pain. Again, these might be things that are temporary. They may be things that are acute, meaning you have an injury. They may be things that are chronic based on lifestyle, genetics, etc. And with the aging process, there is more joint pain. It does come to say that we are going to have more aches and pains as we age. If we can have a good attitude about it, if we can continue to move, I will promise you that you will feel better about this joint pain and just understand it is part of aging, and it does not have to be looked at as something terrible. On the other hand, if you are having significant pain, things that keep you from doing what you want to be doing, do not succumb. Do not wallow in the corner in your own self-pity. You need to see a practitioner. You need to potentially see an orthopedic surgeon. You may need to see a physical therapist or a chiropractor or whatever, depending on your situation. The more you move, right, the old use it or lose it absolutely plays into here. You can change your life. There are surgeries, replacement of joints that can really change the course of your life and allow you to keep moving no matter how old you are. But guess what? Again, it requires you to take action and not succumb to it. And the itchy skin as well. Again, this is where a good dermatologist, allergist, in conjunction with you and a primary care and a healthy eating approach and moving and being active can really help you deal with it. Again, with the itchy skin, different things, autoimmunes and things turn on. At any point in life, we may have a genetic predisposition, but there are pharmaceuticals, over-the-counters, lifestyle methods, including what you're putting in your mouth, that can really shift the course of these things, holding you back from living a joyful life. Irregular periods, we've probably dealt with these throughout our life as we're breastfeeding and the start of our pregnancies and in early times during our start of menstruation. But the fact is here is that it is part of being a female, some of us more than others. But once you have gone through your 12 months, 1 year precisely, and now are in postmenopause, if there is any bleeding whatsoever, this is a red flag and you must go see your gynecologist to look into this to make sure that there is nothing eminently dangerous happening. Irregular heartbeats, again, we can blame on all kinds of situations in life. Whether it is your heart, again, this is an opportunity with a primary care, preferably. If you've got heart issues and you have a cardiologist, you would address it with them. We need to make sure that there is not an issue within your heart as to why this is happening. We don't get to blame it on menopause. And the fact is, the stresses of our life, the circumstances of our life can absolutely be part of causing issues within our heart that are just acute, non-harmful, but they can also cause chronic, acute, and potentially harmful issues. So we need to deal with it. The stress component here has to be dealt with. Therapy might be needed, a little medication, pharmaceuticals might be needed to help soften the edges off of our very complex lives, perhaps forever, perhaps temporarily. But the fact is that panic attacks and such can certainly lead to irregular heartbeats, but so can AFib and other really devastating heart conditions. So we do not get to ignore these things. Osteoporosis, yeah, we will blame this somewhat on menopause, but we will blame it on the aging process in general because men have osteoporosis as well. And we will certainly base it on all kinds of things, including malnutrition throughout our lifetime, disordered eating throughout our lifetime, not getting enough of the proper nutrition to help us build strong bones, not just calcium, but vitamin D and protein and several other minerals that actually participate in the matrix of growing these beautiful bones. Secondly, lifestyle is paramount. Some of us might be in wheelchairs and have situations where we are not able to have an exercise program that would really behoove us in holding on to or building bone mass. But the fact is that lifestyle, including weight-bearing exercise and strength training, which most of us can participate in, must be part of halting this process, which, by the way, leads to many disabled and early deaths due to fractures in the spine and the hip that can be our demise. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water again. All right, when we talk about these psychological symptoms, again, I will not put the onus on menopause for so many. Mood swings and fatigue and depression and anxiety and irritability, difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, loss of libido. While we could absolutely try to identify these as issues within the time period of losing estrogen, they absolutely can be part of so many other disease processes as well as psychological issues that are happening in our lives. So step one, a full physical to make sure that there is nothing going on that is concerning, that we need to look to beyond the fact that we're suffering in some capacity psychologically. Secondly, this is where we may need a little help from some over-the-counter or pharmaceuticals for a short period of time or a long period of time, depending on your particular situation, family history, genetics, circumstances, etc. But to want to put the onus on menopause alone is absolutely unacceptable. Just as I said earlier, the fact that this COVID-19 pandemic and all of the changes in all of our lifestyles with work and school and family life really can absolutely have sparked issues within all of these areas. And I will tell you that having a good therapist, a community of people where you can communicate who might be in the same life circumstances of you can be really great. Talk therapy in any capacity is really life-changing in a positive way, but you have to be open to it. When we looked at digestive systems, I will tell you that the majority of my clients, regardless of their age, will come to me with bloating and gas and digestive issues, gas and diarrhea and such. I will not allow anyone to blame this on menopause. I will blame this 100% on a unhealthy gut, them being malnourished, not getting proper nutrition, etc. Usually the consumption of highly processed, ultra-processed foods as well. And once we can get these individuals really thinking about a more wholesome diet approach, really a template for eating and eating beautiful, wholesome food and really populating that microbiome, which goes from the top of our throat to the tip of our anuses with healthy microbes and really setting up a good defense, we really can alleviate most, if not all of these symptoms. Again, this may be an opportunity to not only work with somebody like myself, but Mama G does work in conjunction with your medical practitioners out there, namely a gastroenterologist, for people who have issues with these things. We also see a lot of clients who have diagnoses like GERD, gastrointestinal reflux disease, IBS, intestinal bowel symptoms. We see people with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and so many other things where having a good nutrition practitioner paired with your medical practitioner or gastroenterologist can really work hand in hand in helping you to find a lifestyle approach and perhaps a little combination of medications that can really change your life for the better. When we looked at vasomotor symptoms, again, changes in body odor, hot flashes, night sweats. Step one is using a perspirant and a deodorant can be very helpful. I will tell you, you'd be surprised at a segment of the population that does not participate in this. And, body odor is not a good thing for everybody, it seems, but the person who is exuding the body odor. But the hot flashes and the night sweats, and sure, you might have some change in body odor as time goes on. It is imperative that we have some good health hygiene in the meantime, and that we, may choose to participate in showers and bathings and deodorants and things on a more regular basis when these changes occur are imperative. But the fact is that we can definitely look to this being that change in estrogen, and that again, hormone replacement therapy can absolutely help you as you transition. It is a transition, not a forever period of time. And I would highly suggest again that you talk to a menopause specialist, a gynecologist who specializes in menopause, menopause.org, to find that individual. Oral symptoms, again, just like with the changes of body odor, you do not get to assume that this is menopause. We need to make sure that there is not some other reason for these things happening. So between visiting a dentist and seeing a medical practitioner, we need to see why these things might be occurring. In all cases, proper dental hygiene can help to alleviate these things, prevent these things. And secondly, again, with the burning tongue, this is typically some kind of digestive symptom we're seeing, and it is usually a figment of people not eating wholesome real food, missing out on certain nutrients, and we can address that here within the Mama G lifestyle. Nervous system symptoms. Oh, look at that. I said that so nicely. Number one, if you have any of these symptoms, you must see a practitioner. We see these exact same symptoms in patients who have diabetes that is untreated, who then start to deal with neuropathy, which is exactly these particular symptoms here, where we are seeing tingling in the extremities. What happens to our patients who have diabetes that is uncontrolled is we start to see damage within these extremities because they are not they do not feel when they are injured, and then these injuries end up leading to potentially amputations of their limbs. This is why it is imperative that you see your primary care physician to let them know of these symptoms. You do not get to blame these on menopause, like they're going to go away once you are postmenopausal at some point in time. And you need to look for the cause of these things, as this is an extremely dangerous situation. And my continued look through Dr. Google, this one gave us even more scenarios to add to it. And I'm just going to pull out a few here. Let me take a quick little sip of water. As I look down the list with mood swings and brain fog and lack of motivation and difficulty focusing and headaches and night sweats and hot flashes and breast tenderness and digestive problems and quick weight gain and loss of libido and vaginal dryness and period stopping and osteoporosis and joint stiffness, and I can go on and on and on. From the things that come out of people's mouths, by the way, are not just speaking with postmenopausal women. Yes, while some of these things have to do with menopause, and some of these things can either be just take the tough, I'm going to just tough it out, or you could talk to your menopause specialist about, what can be done to help you. And again, there's that hormone replacement therapy in the interim to help you transition through this. I will 100% tell you that you need to get a full workup to make sure that there is no reason physically that these things are occurring in your body. And then I will tell you that other than a handful of these things, such as the night sweats and the hot flashes, I'm going to just pick them out here, the breast tenderness, the loss of libido, the vaginal dryness, I'm not picking out period stopping. That's not going to be part of it. I'm looking down the list. I'm looking at 26, 27, the urinary. Well, I'm going to leave urinary plane off my list. Facial hair will add in the mix. Really, I think I picked out 5 or 6 things right there. Everything else can be relayed back to your food choices and your lack of exercise, not menopause. So that's quite eye-opening for so many people, because it sure is easy to blame menopause. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to blame it on lifestyle. I'm going to blame it on food all day long. And the good news is there is actually something we can do to stop these things. So, when you take a look back at this, you think about, this menopause period of time, just complete and utter chaos. And I am here to tell you that this period of your time, as you approach menopause, you're in the midst of menopause, or you're post-menopause, truly can be the best, happiest, most joyful period of your life. And so we've got to look at these stages of change. This is a psychological view of stages of changes. I really love this model. I want to explain it to you. I'm going to take another sip of water. But many clients come to me and they are stuck in this right here, this stages of change, where they sit in this contemplative stage. They know that they don't feel good. They know that they have all these symptoms, but they're not willing to own them. They're not willing to take action and do something about it. So my hope today is that, I've moved you into the contemplative stage, that you are owning these symptoms, that you've really heard me, that sure, well, menopause could be the plan. We actually have an action item for you, or maybe a few action items. But really, with so many of these things, it is not going to behoove you to keep your head in the sand, nor to keep those blinders on. That without acknowledging these things and really contemplating what is going on, you potentially are going to shorten your life, and you're going to make what's left of your life miserable. And I, for one, do not intend to be part of that process. We'll come back to the stages of change in a moment, because my hope is, again, as I'm mentioning, that we have moved you into the contemplative stage, and then we will move forward from there. But let's do a little education. So the fact is, don't be afraid. All right. I am here to guide you. We're going to talk about what happens as we age, how do we counter the effects of aging, and really how the Mama G lifestyle is your antidote to all that ails you, or at least most of what ails you. So I am the integrative practitioner. I think it's important to have somebody like me that can be your quarterback, that can help you to learn how to advocate for your health, that can really educate you along the way and give you practical, useful, and sustainable lifestyle approaches that can really change the course of your life. I want to help you to understand that calories matter. And we'll be discussing more about that in a moment, as does the quality of your food. Food enjoyment matters, because if you are not enjoying food, something that we do multiple times a day, your life is going to be miserable. And you will continue to yo-yo your weight. You will continue to look for that restrictive and punitive diet approach that limits everything and brings no joy to your life. I would like you to know that ease and comfort in the kitchen matters in helping you to sustain a beautiful, wholesome, healthy diet approach. And that saving money matters. I cannot stand people wasting money. And why, yeah, there is an investment in me to help my clients, find their happy place. I will save you money across the board as well. I've told my clients that the money they invest in me within the course of the year, they can save with not only in their healthcare costs, but in terms of saving money with their food consumption and food waste, and et cetera, et cetera. And finding a lifestyle approach that brings you joy to your life does matter. And I do tell you that I do believe it is the Mama G lifestyle, soon to be your lifestyle. So many of us in the integrative and functional world do believe that all of these aspects of your life are part of your health picture. I will tell you that I look at it in a completely different way. I believe that your diet influences all of these aspects of how your body will be thriving, or on the other on the other side of it, causing harm to your body. Everything, I will tell you, comes back to your food. Whether or not you're getting proper sleep is going to dictate the type of foods you choose. The type of foods you choose is going to determine if you're able to digest and absorb those foods. The exposure you've had regarding toxins, and the toxins that you continue to allow to be part of your life, is going to decide how you're able to utilize that food as well across the board. We can go all the way around every single one of these parts of your life are going to reflect back to your diet and vice versa. All of my clients know that calories do count and that you do have a calorie budget. Whether you're like Mama G, who chooses to remain in homeostasis, I get a certain number of calories. And if I undereat, I'm not going to be getting the nutrients nor the energy sources that I need to give me the ability to do all I want to do. And if you're overeating calories, we have issues there as well as undereating calories. So whether you're postmenopausal, whether you're an Olympic hopeful, it doesn't matter where you are in between, calories matter, and you do have a calorie budget. And I think it's so interesting that people think that they could just go about life and just eat whatever they want and eat however much they want, and that it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. The key here to your success is coming up with a diet approach, a template, a game plan, things that the Mama G lifestyle provides you with so that you don't have to think as much. But just like you have to choose to brush your teeth in the morning and the evening and floss your teeth and go to the dentist and have oral hygiene and your teeth cleaned and dental exams, you get to think about your calorie budget every single day, just like we have to urinate and have bowel movements every single day. Same thing here, folks. You can, I guess, have a catheter, which by the way has to be changed. And you could, actually have not that anybody would choose it, but there are people who have to have lost my train of thought of the word there, but bags to deal with their feces that they put out every single day. Nobody wants to do that. You actually have to make a decision to go to the bathroom multiple times a day to excrete our urine and our feces throughout the day. This is just part of your life. And when you own it, acknowledge it, and find a simple, easy way to do, just like our bathrooms now. Perhaps you have a bidet on your toilet. Perhaps, we're no longer going into the woods. We don't have outhouses. Most of us luckily have beautiful bathrooms where we get to sit on a warm toilet with soft toilet paper. It's kind of the same thing here, folks. You have a calorie budget, and if you don't own it, you're going to suffer in one way or another. Where you sit is, definitely a figment of your calorie budget. I will tell you that I love myself and my clients to all sit in homeostasis, which is our happy place, which is the amount of calories we ingest balances with the amount of output we do every day, and that will fluctuate through the aging process. It fluctuates at different points in your life as well. But, we have most of my clients come to me looking to weight loss. And you've got to be in a calorie deficit. And then I have a segment of clients who need to gain weight. And again, this is an opportunity for them to realize that they're going to have to do some work in terms of getting extra calories to help them reach their goals. But calories matter no matter who you are from birth to death. The quality of your food matters. It is paramount to your success. And so you really have to understand that while you really could choose to eat anything, it's just like every pill is a poison. Every food is potentially a poison as well if you under or over consume certain things that can be harmful or helpful to your health. So having a varied diet of real wholesome food as close to its natural delivery as possible will behoove you. Obviously, there is some processing involved necessary to help us consume certain foods, but the ultra processed, highly processed foods really have to be limited or completely avoided. One of the things I do from my clients is help them how to be a good consumer advocate when they are in the grocery store, choosing their food products, learning to read nutrition facts labels and ingredients lists, ignore the shiny, bright things on the label that draw you to purchase them, really to no avail to you, and really to not allow anybody to bully you in your food choices. And really, my clients really understand is that I want you to be obsessed with beautiful, wholesome, real food, and that you can really enjoy every single morsel, or you should be enjoying every single morsel you put in your life, that it shouldn't be complex, that it can be super easy, that you have to do a little planning. Everything in life requires planning, but it should not consume you. But I do wish for you to be obsessed with beautiful, wholesome, real food. And that is part of what I teach you in my programs. The other thing that I also teach you that we don't see a lot of nutrition practitioners provide for you is help in the kitchen. I want to teach you to maneuver through your kitchen with ease. I do want to tell you that I will make your food dreams come true. And, but you got to participate with me. I do cook-alongs with my clients. I have videos of different things I've cooked that can help my clients transition through cooking in their kitchen. And we have lots of communication on how to cook beautiful, wholesome foods with a template, with recipes, and so much more that really allow you to find joy in your kitchen and to allow you to produce beautiful, wholesome food, not only for yourself to help you reach your goals and to improve your health and to reach that sweet spot on the scale that you all are dreaming of, but really to role model these beautiful, wholesome behaviors for your family members as well. And then, you know, I can't, as an environmentalist at heart, cannot miss the fact that I, you know, in the Mama G lifestyle, that we do consider, you know, saving our planet and making moves to reduce waste and to give a crap about every human being on the planet and save yourself some money as well. So we will deal with things like alleviating food waste and eating more at home so we can save you money there, lessening your carbon footprint just with recycling things that you're using and less food waste in the things you're purchasing and such. So I have so much to say in this area, and it is a component of the Mama G lifestyle because I do care for every human being, and I do think it's important. I also want to counter the fact that I believe that you can eat an omnivore diet, which means you can include animal protein in your life. I do not believe that you have to be a vegan or a vegetarian. And if you are a vegan and a vegetarian, I will tell you that you have to have a more thoughtful diet approach because you will be missing out on nutrients, and that we have to be more thoughtful as to how we get those calories and nutrients in our lives. We are not going to let people bully us that we should not be consuming animal products or that we have to consume organic or other things like that. So we will have conversations and empower you with facts based on science and evidence rather than people, their opinions and their expectations on why you should live the same diet approach that they should. And really, one of the most important things I teach my clients is the concept of conviviality. The definition is relating to, occupied with, or fond of feasting, drinking in good company. And this, you know, is what my backyard looked like pre-COVID, when every Sunday we would get together, anywhere from 80 to 30 people every Sunday night, joining together for food, feeding and feasting and conviviality and communication and conversations and joy and company. My concept of bringing the family back to the kitchen table is one that I really believe in, and I do it with real wholesome food. I provide the real wholesome food. You can do it as a community as well. But the fact is that people choose what's on their plate. We don't choose it for them. While my clients know that their plate matters, all we want to do is influence people with beautiful, wholesome food. They get to decide how many calories they eat, what they eat. But the fact is, during this time, you will start to inspire people to choose more wholesome food across the board. Within the Mama G lifestyle, my clients understand that we have a template, a game plan for them. The beauty is I provide a virtual recipe library for them. We have breakfast and snack cheat sheets, which are really useful. I encourage my clients to take advantage of the weekly live nutrition education sessions I provide, and we do weekly coaching sessions as well. We have a support group on Facebook that's private, that's really imperative to our success in terms of motivation and support from one another. I put out newsletters so that everything they need that has happened over the course of the last week is at their fingertips. We do a monthly cook along, which is really wonderful, from their kitchen to mine, that we actually get to participate. Me as a chef teaching little kitchen hacks and things that can help you find more joy and ease in the kitchen, but also then producing beautiful meals together. And I'm pleased to announce that coming soon, post-COVID, which I really do feel is around the corner, that those who are near me here in Southern California, we will be getting together for in-person activities, hikes and potlucks and things like that. And then regardless of where you live in the United States, I am going to be doing a yearly retreat. This is something that I had talked about in the past, but never had an opportunity to come into fruition once COVID hit. So I wanted to just take a minute to kind of show you the things that I do offer within the Mama G lifestyle, because whether you're a client of mine presently or whether you're somebody who is contemplating joining me in the future, there are so many things that my existing clients do not even realize that exist. And I think it's a good time to inspire you and maybe motivate you as to why you want to work with me in the future. So I want to go back to the stages of change real quick, because I want to just let you think about this, right? In that contemplative stage is where the change begins. This is when you get educated. This is where somebody like me can help you see why you need to get determined and take action to really make changes in your life for the long haul, not just temporarily with all of these diet approaches that are out there and lifestyle approaches. The fact is that we have a $6 billion diet industry, because people are really good at going on restricted and punitive diets or taking pills and potions for the short term, and they'll tell you every time, but it worked. And that was until they stopped and it didn't work anymore. And the fact is that lots of harm comes during those times. And I can't even communicate how many people I know that at this point in time have Peloton bikes and other brands of bikes that have been purchased during COVID. I know for many people, they're already selling them because they never got into the habit of using them. It's just really interesting how people can, buy into a certain thing. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it, but they don't own it and take action. And unfortunately, you can see that people can fall in and out of these stages at any time in their life, including the relapse phase, which is one of the things I try to avoid with my clients. I choose to move them into maintenance where they can live that long, healthy, independent, joyful life for the long haul and stop playing the game of, wanting and desiring and not actually owning how to make those changes. So there is my 12-week jumpstart program. I run this 4 times a year. I love it. I have completely revamped it. It is a completely different experience for my clients. And I just have seen the opportunity for anybody, young and old, couples alike, singles, to really change the approach to their life and are now living a life that they never expected to be part of. Now, I want to, and just so you know, because I'm going to show you a couple things before we get off of here. I know our hour is almost up, but if you are interested in chatting or talking about if the Mama G lifestyle approach is right for you, you are welcome to text me or go to the website, mamagslifestyle.com, to reach me. So let me just pop here into our weekly roundup, because I wanted to show not only those of you who don't work with me, but for my clients as well, where these things live. So I'm going to pop right here into my Facebook group. This is our private Facebook group where we have an opportunity to communicate with one another. We have 50 members at this time, growing as we speak. At the very top here in the announcements lives our weekly roundup. It also gets emailed to all of our clients. We also have a general email list that you can sign up for, that will come out to you on Wednesdays. But let's just take a peek here for a second. My clients, get this every single week, but I will tell you that most of them, more than half of them, never even click on the roundup to see what we're offering. But every week we produce new content for you. This week came a long-awaited weekly shopping list for you to have on your kitchen counter, for you to mark off the items you need and spaces for items that aren't necessarily the same as the Mama G lifestyle approach or other things you might need in your life. And there's a PDF that you can print those out. I always offer opportunities for my clients to help me promote my business and win something at the same time. So my clients right now are asked to participate in our social media competition, where they can actually win a private virtual cooking class for them and their friends, as many friends as they want, which makes it really convenient via social media, or via the internet and our Zoom capabilities. So it's really nice to be able to get together with family and friends from afar, but really have an opportunity to find joy together with the kind of Brady Bunch format that the Zoom meetings allow. And we can all see each other cooking in our kitchens, and it's an opportunity for me to do a cooking class for them right in the comfort of their own homes. My clients do know that I offer a referral program that I think is really important, because I feel like if you're getting something out of it, that you should, or you're doing something, that you should be able to get perks for that. I always talk about Apple products. I've had an Apple since 1984, and I always feel like Apple has never given credence to those of us who have been loyal customers. They're always changing the dongles and the attachments and the upgrades and such, and that we have to pay for them every single time. My clients know that that if they refer clients to me, that they will get free lessons or private sessions with me, and I'm happy to make that happen. You guys are here with me in this free webinar on menopause. I do webinars on the regular that are provided to the general population, which is really nice to be able to inspire people, give them strategies and tools that they can take with them without ever seeing me again, but it also gives me an opportunity to share my business and why they may want to join me in the future. We recently did a cook along, so we always have those available to our clients. And this is also available in our public access on our website and on our YouTube page. So if you missed any cook alongs with me in the past, you can join me in cooking some beautiful foods. And then my clients also know that I produce new recipes for them on the regular. And then I revamp a multitude of old recipes that I have to get them up to snuff in the current Mama G lifestyle template, and really just perfecting these really beautiful foods. My clients also know that these live coaching calls I do on Monday nights are available to them recorded if they're not able to join me live, but it's also a time for every single one of my clients, regardless of what program they're in, to come out on Mondays or to DM me ahead of time with questions so that I can customize their approach for themselves. And I'll tell you this, every question that's asked, every topic dealt with is something that all of my clients are find useful. I always offer specials like with this Jumpstart to existing clients who have never gone through it before. I have a special deal for them. Every week on Facebook and Instagram, I do a live. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Mama G's Lifestyle. You can be part of our general email, which give you those links, or you can simply join me at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time on Facebook and on 1:45 p.m. on Instagram live. It's about 10 minutes. I toured my pantry for about 6 weeks, and now I've moved on to my tour of my kitchen. And all of these are available on our public website as well as on our public YouTube page. My clients that ask me for help in meal plans and such, and while I don't plan my meals, I provide them what I did the previous week along with pictures and MyFitnessPal builds or healthy plate builds to help them starting to see how this beautiful wholesome food comes out in reality in my life. I also put out a workout plan of what my plans are and then what I actually executed, because I think anybody who wants to get into a regular routine has to make plans. And I think coming up with your own workout plan is the only way to make that happen. Hence why I want to show you what I do. I write a monthly column in my local paper, and I like to share those with you here. They're usually topics that we don't address in our weekly calls, and I think they're useful and enjoyable and fun. Again, if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you should. The content is exactly the same, so you need only follow me on one. My clients know that I'm trying to revamp every single one of my recipes, and I need their help in identifying the recipes that are older and preferably before they make them. And I am always healthifying recipes for clients. And so I ask them to give me recipes or ingredients from recipes that they love or tried and true that they enjoy, but they know are potentially not so healthy. This is in the announcement at the top of our Facebook page as well, so it never gets lost. And then we archive our weekly roundups. If you haven't listened to this, again, you can find this on the About Mama G on our public website, but this is my journey. It is a podcast, so very easy to listen to in the car while you're cooking, on your way to work, etc. And then I also want you to advocate for yourself. So I have put together another sheet of everything that Mama G is doing to keep up with my regular checkups and screenings, including seeing my pain management doctor, my rheumatologist. I have my colonoscopy coming up, which I just realized I have to reschedule because we'll be out of town, etc. I think it's really important to schedule, to own, and to really participate in your self-care. My clients all have access to updated materials as they come, which I think a lot of my older clients, and not older by age, but clients who have been with me a long time have not taken advantage of. But I think this is a really wonderful way for me to allow my clients to participate in what I'm doing. And meanwhile, the last thing I'm going to show you, because I want to make sure that you've seen my website, is the website and the free access page. My clients have access over here to the client access, but on here in the free access, and this is for my clients as well, as we have 2 years of weekly hour-long calls on fitness and nutrition with my best friend and fitness expert, Samantha Blankenberg. This is information that will still be useful to this day. There's a whole year worth of these on health and nutrition that I put out in 2020. These are the videos I was talking about that are on YouTube that are open to the public, testimonials from so many clients on their different life experiences within the Mama G lifestyle, and certainly all the articles that I've ever written through all of this time. Okay, there's a stop share. Let me show my face for a second. There she is. And I just want to thank you for joining me. I want you to really understand that while menopause poses challenges, I really want you to take to heart what I've shared with you today, to realize that you do not need to suffer, that this really could be the best time in your life, and that with the help of your practitioners and friends and family and being an advocate for yourself, this really could be the most joyful period of your life. And if you don't know it yet, you know what Mama G always says, it is not about what you lose, folks. It's all about what you gain. Have a beautiful day.